Enlighten me on what's going on here. In Walgreens, there are these coolers, and this is where our drinks used to, we can just open it up and grab. Now it's kind of like all cartooned all the way down. So if you look here, then I'm looking here, and there's a sensor there and a sensor there. It says, wave your hand. Voice assistant coming soon. Okay? Pretty soon these doors aren't going to be opening. Really thick, actually. But this is where the food is. So what do you think this means for us as people of the United States of America? What does it mean? Wave your hand? Look at that. Why would that be on a door just to get drinks? Just saying. And it's all the way down.
Well, it's not just people of the United States. She would like to be enlightened about what's going on, and I'm sure most of the fine people who watch this video will be able to do exactly that. Let me have a go and see if you'd agree. But basically what's going on is it's just another layer of control. It's a little bit like the shoplifting. You heard about all of the shoplifting, just like has gone crazy over these past few years. Almost like it's sort of post-2020. Shoplifting has gone through the roof, and this isn't just the US, this is a global thing, experiencing pretty much exactly the same thing in the UK. Why? Because when things like shoplifting increase and crime, then there needs to be more safety offered, there needs to be more cameras, there needs to be more safety measures, there needs to be a ripping apart of what used to be that old world into a kind of, well, what's the opposite of an old world? A new world. And what does that entail? More surveillance, less control for you, more control for them. And that includes putting things across fridges that you can't easily get access to, because eventually, and this is the part of the enlightenment that I'm sure people would like to fill you in on, eventually, what will happen with things like this is when you wave your hand and it's got the facial recognition going on, you've got a low credit, social credit score. You won't be able to get any food whatsoever. The fridge won't open for you. In fact, you'd be lucky to even get in a store. So basically, that's how it's all going to work. It's going to be very much a global thing, it seems. It seems the West is getting a good old shafting. Good old bashing round the head with this sort of stuff. So anyway, that's my take. But if you would like to enlighten her about what...
Yeah, like the comment says, when she can't buy anything without her microchip in her hand, she will realize what is going on. Evil is obsessed with control. There's never been a better time to be old. I feel bad for today's youth. Yeah, because people can see what is headed to, and if you on your way out of here, so to speak, then many will find it a blessing. Microchip preparation, scandalous. Boycott these shops. Those electronic doors look expensive. You don't build something like that for no reason. Those that don't take the mark of the beast cannot buy or sell. Create so much theft and chaos, the stores have to put this in, forcing the people to conform to it. Problem, reaction, solution in full effect. The mark of the beast is getting ready. Mark of the beast coming soon. They have these in Tesco, Trowbridge, Wiltshire, apparently to stop shoplifting. But it's ready for a digital ID. This is going to be the mark of the beast. Pray for strength and God. Yep. So just looking at what the people have to say. So she's asking the question, what's going on? He's sarcastically explaining that it's not just in the US and it's happening worldwide. And everybody, it seems that the majority of the people are starting to realize what exactly is happening. And when you look at the reaction of the people, you see that many people are coming to the same conclusion that one, they don't trust their government. Two, they know that to stop the shoplifting is just a front. And three, that this is setting up for more control. You know, Great Millstone, starting with the apostles and elders and the other camps and the other brothers that teach it, sincerely, have been teaching it for a long time, and it's coming to pass. So, and the good thing is that means we're one step closer to getting out of here, and you can actually see the prophecy coming to pass right in front of the very eyes, and it's happening worldwide. It ties right into the image of the beast, which is the Roman system, which today you could just call it the New World Order in today's term, which is complete control, just like it was back in the Roman Empire system. The Roman emperor had complete supreme authority over all those in Rome. He took the power from, it went from a so-called democracy to an empire. And that's exactly what they're doing, except the emperor this time is going to be the hands of a small few, which will be those international bankers and the wicked elite. And everybody else will just be slaves. That's the image. And they're going to include a mark. Now you have, and that mark is going to be the microchip. Now you have the Israelite groups, that any Israelite group that does not teach that the mark of the beast is the chip. If they tell you that the mark of the beast is spiritual, right? They want to convince you that Esau Edom is a spiritual man, which he's not. He's a carnal man. They tell you that without getting, because they can't be really specific, they say it's spiritual, and in order for you to buy or sell, you have to agree to the system. You have to show you agree to the system. It was like, okay, well, what system? What system are you referring to? Are you referring to this New World Order system? Because if you look at this New World Order system, you see where they're going. And everything they're going has nothing to do with the scriptures. Because some will have you believe, they say that the mark of the beast is the image of Caesar Borgia, or what they call Jesus Christ. But that's not the case. And they tell you that they're going to go around and conquer the world again with that image and force people to bow to that image. No, they're not going to do that. Everybody knows that the Lord is not a so-called white man. So they won't be able to deceive anybody with that anymore. So what is the image? We just told you what the image is. So to understand the image is to understand the mark. Now, these same Israelite groups will tell you that you won't be able to buy or sell unless you sinned. So that little voice prompt there on the door, if we use their logic, they're telling you, or they're telling us that what's going to happen is you're going to go to the ice cream section, and the voice prompt is going to say, hello, have you sinned today? And you say yes. And then the door's going to open. That's what they're trying to say. Tell me, what sin have you committed today? And you can say, well, it's the Sabbath and I'm in a store technically, so I'm sinning. Oh, okay, here you go. Then you can open the door. No. Well, put it this way. That's what they're telling you, right? Now, but what makes the most sense? That eventually that waving your hand is going to be a scanner. And the only way to open the door is if you can scan some type of barcode. Doesn't that make the most logical sense? And what we're telling you is that barcode is going to be a chip inside your hand. And even with that, they're going to control you and make sure that, like you said, you're in good reputation. You didn't say anything online that people didn't want to listen to. So just use your common sense here. What makes the most sense? Either you're going to have to scan a barcode, or you're going to have to talk to a robot and tell them that you sinned so that you can open the door. Which one makes the most sense? The book of Deuteronomy 18:20 says, but the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die. And if thou say in thine heart, how will we know the word which the Lord Yahweh have not spoken? When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord Yahweh have not spoken. But the prophet has spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him. So how do you really know if what we're saying is true? Well, you just look. And like I said, you look at what's going on in the world, you keep up with the events, you see what's happening in real time, and you put two together and you see like what makes the most sense. And what makes the most sense is that they're trying to implement a microchip and they want it embedded under your skin or somewhere on your body. The people in power all have the same goal and the same agenda. Elon Musk didn't just become some political man overnight. They put him in that position for a reason. They gave a technocracy, techno freak a position of power for a reason. The WEF, all of them are all talking about the same thing. Just type in Yuval Harari or just type in Yuval under the skin. He's been talking for years about monitoring and getting under the skin. So when you see these things being put in stores, then you can understand like, yep, that's exactly, it has to be that microchip. Use common sense, people. But even then, if you want to use their logic, that means they're telling, so you just tell that I sinned today, and then the door open, and then you could buy that ice cream. Which one makes the most sense? Hey, giving our praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem HaRachakadash. Saying double honors to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. Shalom.